Hello and welcome to Galaxy Advisors. The purpose of this video is to give you a second example of using the Condor Taxo tool. As you recall, the Taxo Form looks like this, and specifically this video is going to deal with the third option to extract names from a database. If you haven't watched the Condor Tours Taxo Example 1, I suggest that you do it because we're going to pick up really where it left off, and you can access it at this URL below. So again, the Condor Tax tool enables a user to construct a taxonomy or hierarchical categorization of terms from 5 Condor databases, including web, email, wiki evolution, video, and Twitter. This really enables the user to identify potential relevant areas for additional investigation. Now note that the Condor Facebook and wiki search databases are not included because they use URLs as nodes. So here we have the hierarchical classification. It has your area of interest and can create these categories or hierarchicals from the Wikipedia categories, web, email, video, wiki evolution, and Twitter. It produces a hierarchical pie chart that you can investigate and tell you what percentage of your taxonomy is included under that slice of the pie, and you can actually then map or visualize that hierarchical classification as well. So the Taxo Form looks like this, and we're going to again follow on that third option, extract names from database. And if you recall from the first example, you needed 3 Cool People databases, the Blacklist, NameDB, and Whitelist. So I'm going to talk about how to download and install those, and then go back and run this, provide an example of running extract names. So to download an Unzip CoolPeople file, copy this link into your browser, www.ickn.org/documents/CP, and there's an underscore, CoolPeople.zip. Then once that is downloaded to your computer, click on it to unzip it, and you should see these 3 MySQL databases. Now the next step is going to use Navicat to import the Three Cool People MySQL database. So start MySQL server. If it doesn't set up to start automatically, start Navicat. And then in Navicat, right click on the local host and select New Database when that window opens. What we're going to do is create 3 new databases. So after you click on New Database, a new database window is going to open. So insert for the database name CP_blacklist and click OK. Repeat the step, right click on localhost, select new database and put in CP_name_DB, click OK. And then a third time, right click on localhost, select new database and enter CP_whitelist, click OK. Now it's important that you have each of these names spelled right, so just double check your spelling when you're adding those databases. Then right click on the local host, click refresh connection at the very bottom. That kind of refreshes it so you can see the names that you've just added. And then you should see these 3 to confirm the databases that you've created. Now what we need to do is populate them. So double click on the database to highlight it, such as I have here, CP_blacklist. Right click on the database name, and then you'll see a window open and it'll say select execute SQL file. So scroll down and click on execute SQL file. A window is going to open, and under the file there's a highlighted in red there on the far right, the 3 little dots, and click on that and navigate to the CP_blacklist.sql file. Once you've found that, then click start, and then it's going to give a window, and it said it successfully executed those steps. Then click cancel. So repeat those steps. So you're going to right click on the database, you're going to click execute SQL, you're going to find CP_name_DB, and then you're going to click start, and it's going to execute that. And then the same thing with the CP whitelist. Now at the very end, you should confirm with Navicat that you have these 3 databases, and if you click on each database, it should expand to see the tables that are located underneath. That just helps confirm that you're all set and that these 3 databases have been successfully installed. Now next, start Condor. Again, for the key, that's the monthly key. It's only required at the first day of the month. The host remains localhost. Username is root. And if you installed a MySQL password, enter it here. If not, just click OK. Now Condor again runs on both a Mac and a PC. This is the Mac template. This is the PC. Again, the functionality on both a Mac and a PC are identical. So at this point, I assume that you've completed the Taxo tool version example, and you completed the two-step process. If you used a 1-degree collector or the web collector with the degree of separation equals to 1, used the Taxo to extract certain Wikipedia categories or nouns or names, and now I'm going to reopen that save taxonomy. So we're going to again use tools, click on Taxo tool, the form is going to come back up, and then we're going to click file, open existing taxonomy, and you should have Telehealth or something similar that you created, and then click load taxonomy. That will then load the taxonomy in that section 2 of the window. And now what we're going to do is extract the names. So click, before that, we're going to click database open, and we're going to go back to our telecare 1 degree as an example, and click OK. And then, so that database now is loaded, that we're going to use the extract names to extract the proper names from that telecare 1 degree database. So if you click on that, it's going to run and fetch those names, and then once it's done fetching, you check selected names that you want. So I've checked it Francis Collin, who happens to be the director of the National Institute of Health, and Winnie Palmer, which is actually a hospital that uses something for telekids. So I'm going to apply check names, and then I'm going to click on the people, and which makes them highlighted, and drag them to the taxonomy window, and then release, and then they're going to be added. So from there, at this point, I'm going to click File Save, which will save the resulting. And then if you click on People, you'll be able to see those 2 names have been added, and the taxonomy is persisted or saved. Here again, you have the option of opening another database. So I'm going to click on database, click open, and now I'm going to click on the Wiki Evolution Telecare that was conducted in a previous video, and click OK. So that's going to load that database. And then I'm going to go back and say, okay, let's extract the proper names from that database. Click on Extract Names from Database, and it's going to find 2, Paul Burstow and Rufus Handy, both which are British, and Paul especially is a minister very much involved in telecare in the UK. So again, the same thing. I've selected those names. I'm going to drag them over to the taxonomy window and click Save here. And then if you click on People, you'll see that those 2 additional names have been added. You can also right-click on a node, and you can add a subnode or remove it. So you have different editing features here within the Taxo Form. And now we're going to visualize that hierarchy. So we're going to click on File, Open Database, go back to the Telecare 1 degree, and click OK. You're going to see the hierarchical view. Now this is from the previous example 1, so what I'm going to do is remove it. So I'm going just to select it. I'm going to click on the menu Edit and click Remove Data Sets. A message is going to come back and say, sure you want to do this, and click OK. And now we just have 2 data sets available. So I'm going to highlight both data sets by holding the Shift key down and selecting each one at a time. Then a little record number will show up. I'm going to then click View Hierarchical Pie Chart View, Prepare Pie Chart View, and I'm going to select Telehealth and click Start. And then I'm going to click Close once it's finished. Then I'm going to come back and click View Hierarchical Pie Chart, and this time I'm going to say Show Pie Chart View. And then I'm going to get a pie chart. The first one is in red. If you double click on the circle for details, it's going to create a more detailed pie chart, which you can then click on. And if there's any subcategories, you can click on those again, and it'll show you the percent. So then from here, let's map it. So click File, Open Database, select the Telecare Open Database because we just recreated that hierarchical data set. I'm going to just select the hierarchical data set in this case, and then we're going to do the two-step process to view it. So it's going to be view communication created, then we're going to create view communication in the static view. So again, click view communication, create communications view. I'm going just to select the data set, the single one that was selected, and click OK. Temp message will appear. And then I'm going to come back and say view communication, static view of communications. I'm going to get a waiting window. I'm just going to say OK. In this case, there's 98 nodes, not too many. So I'm just going to select all of them, and just by selecting OK. That's going to give me a map of that hierarchical mapping, just that data set. And to see the names, I'm going to say click View, Show Labels, Names. It's going to kind of be a little blur here because I have a lot of names around that center square node, which is the taxonomy name, which in this case is Telehealth. And I've highlighted in the upper left the names, the people names that we've just added from the extraction by names. You can actually resize this and resize by counter. And I've turned off the names, and I just highlighted a few names, telehealth, telecare, and so on, and people. So you get the view of the visualization of that hierarchical taxonomy that we have now. So for the next steps, so that's our Taxo Form for example 2. Again, you can keep revising your taxonomy with other databases from the web, Twitter, email, video, or wiki evolution. And you can always examine that with Navicat, the Condor taxonomy. And if you create multiple taxonomies, they'll be listed there in the data sets. So again, the taxonomy hierarchical classification gives you a further refinement of looking at the vocabulary of the Wikipedia categories or articles, names or nouns that you have found from the web, email, video, wiki evolution, or Twitter. So this provides a second example to get you started using the Condor Taxo tool. Enjoy.